Hi everyone, I'm Dan and welcome back to the Rock Nerd Radio Show here on YouTube. I'm very excited because this week I'm going to be doing 5 Transformer reviews. That is a full week of Transformer reviews that will lead up to the largest Transformer I've ever reviewed on camera. So strap in, let's get ready. Today we are going to take a look at the brand new Transformers Walmart exclusive Star Raider Ferak figure.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
So like I said, we are taking a look at the new Ferak figure. Ferak, I've never heard this character's name said actually, so all I know is that in the comics, he looks like a gray and white Cyclonus, and that's kind of what we got. One thing to point out though, you are looking at the package right now. Last year, I believe this Star Raiders line is a Walmart exclusive line. Last year with the Walmart exclusive lines, we had new packaging. You could tell they were different. Near as I can tell, this is just the Legacy United packaging. It does say Star Raider right there, so there is Ferak's name. You do have some cool packaging on the side, a nice, almost like CG image of the toy. Of course, the back has some picture of him in both modes. We have our Legacy United art with a Transformers 40th anniversary logo there, and that's really it. So I'm not one to save packaging, but I am going to bring in Ferak so you can see him, and here he is in his alternate mode, and this is a very slight retool of Cyclonus. I don't want to say a heavy retool, but there are differences. In fact, I do have a Cyclonus here. This is the Legacy, the Selects one that I have here. I'm going to bring the camera down a little bit so you can see. And just to kind of compare the two, starting with the wings, you can see that Ferak has a gun attached to his wings where Cyclonus doesn't. If I pop that off, there is a tab there, so they are slightly different wings. In fact, you can kind of see Cyclonus' wings are more flat along here, where Ferak has these like thrusters, intakes, whatever you want to call it. So that part of the wing is different. Looking at the backs of these two figures, you know, that all looks pretty much the same. Like I said, the wings are the same up until, you know, those intake ports. And for the most part, the rest of it is the same, except one thing that I did see. I'm going to just snap this gun back on real quick. So really the only other main difference that I see is here on the nose cone. You can see that they are different shapes as we get up to this part of the nose cone. Actually, I want to say as we get to, yeah, this section of the nose cone. You know, Cyclonus has this that goes to another point. Ferak has this very different nose cone that does not open up or have a point. There is a little bit of a, can I focus on it? There we go. Like a little indent in there. I'm trying to get the camera to focus on it. There you go. There it is. There's that little indent there. So, you know, not a whole hell of a lot in terms of differences, but enough to say, hey, there are a few. What I am going to do, I'm going to move Cyclonus out. I'm just going to transform him on screen now. You are probably used to this transformation. I'm just going to pop the gun off. These guns on the wings do not need to move at all throughout this transformation process, so I'm just going to leave them on. And I'm just going to start by untabbing the wings, folding them back like you would expect if you've had this Cyclonus figure. There we go. Sometimes these guns do pop off because they really are just kind of like a friction peg in here. So I do want to put them back on. They can do more, the guns. You can have him hold them because they do have pegs on them, as you can see. But in terms of transforming, the guns don't want to stay on because I'm moving everything around. We are going to just untab his arms. Going to bring his legs down. And if you have this Cyclonus, you are probably very used to the way that this transformation works. I'm going to unpeg the legs, bring the feet out. Fold these back in, thrusters back in. I thought the way that they have his legs hidden is neat. You know, one thing that always kind of bothered me, I don't love this like double knee joint for Cyclonus. It kind of, I don't really know like where it's supposed to stop, and then if you go too far, it looks a little gappy. So like I kind of pop it down like one click. It does feel like there's a little mold degeneration on this use of this Cyclonus mold because the legs don't feel as tight as I thought maybe they would be. So I'm just gonna rotate the arms back. Of course, just like Cyclonus, all these things open up and just fold into each other. So there's the dramatic head reveal for Ferak. I'll slide it back so you can see it better. And then of course you just kind of close up the arms, squeeze everything in tight, and the final touch on this would be the hands, which just rotate out very nicely. There we go. And then, you're going to want to rotate your hands a little bit so they are straight forward. I'll rotate this one as well. There we go. So here is Ferak, and he looks pretty cool. I'll raise the camera a little bit just so you can have a better shot of him. There we go. And like I said, since this gun already fell off, you can actually use these guns as blasters if you want. If you have him on the same shelf as Cyclonus and you want to differentiate him with different guns, this is definitely an option. I do like the ability to just kind of storm on his wings. It's weird. I'm the kind of person who likes symmetry on a transformer, so I'm not going to have him like hold one and then the other. I'm going to have him holding both guns and then holding this blaster as well. But he looks pretty cool. Now, he's not necessarily a Decepticon. He is a Star Raider, and the only faction symbol you see here is right here on his arm. He has the Star Raider logo, which looks pretty neat. It's on there very cleanly, but it is black, and it is on a gray part, so it is easy to miss. The other arm does not have that, so it's just on that arm. And otherwise, he looks pretty factionless. You don't see a lot of logos or anything on him. There are some nice bright hints of orange on the figure. I do like that, of course, here in the chest area and on the knees. His feet are also orange. But anyway, looking at this figure, like I was saying, there are some nice hits of orange here. The elbow joints have orange. The face is this nice reddish orange. And then, of course, on the body, you have this nice orange and red detail, kind of highlighting the gray. Moving down, you have the orange knees and the orange feet. And it just looks really cool. In terms of comparing it to Cyclonus, it is more or less the same figure. Of course, I already mentioned the wings and the nose cone difference, but the only other difference would be on, let's bring them together, on their faces. This face is kind of like a open mouth expression face. You can kind of see, almost like he's surprised by something, whereas Cyclonus is that very stern look. And I want to say this is the same on both this Cyclonus and the regular Kingdom release of Cyclonus. So there is that. And actually, I did miss something here. On the shoulders, you can see that they are different. The shoulders are completely different pieces. They're not as indented here. Cyclonus just kind of has this one big cutout where we have a little cutout here and the another tiny cutout there on the lower part of the shoulder. So that is different. Looking at the body though, I want to say everything else is the same. Bringing down to the legs, we are indeed the same. Are the knee pads different? Nope, the knee pads are the same. It's just because of Cyclonus, because they're being painted black here, the shape almost kind of gets lost. But I'm going to hide Cyclonus over here in the back as we look at Ferak. And in terms of articulation, if you have the Cyclonus, you might be used to this, but Ferak's head does go forward and back, mostly because of transformation, but it does also move left and right. So there's that. There's nothing at the waist. Actually, I take that back. There is something at the waist. There is movement here at the waist. It is just way down, and I kind of forgot about that. In terms of the arms, they will spin all the way around. The arms will go out that far as well. The elbows, of course, they when they move, the wing moves with it, which kind of, I don't know, it kind of bothers me to some degree. I almost wish they could have gotten a way to have the wings on the back of the figure, so that way when you move the arm, the wing was still there, but maybe it would collide, I don't know. We have single jointed elbow, but there is rotation at the elbow, and then the wrists do, let's try to get this on camera for you. The wrist will twist as well. It is a tight one on mine. I am worried that I might shear the plastic, so I don't want to twist it around too much, but it is there. In terms of the knee, we're going to kick out that far, and or at the leg rather, not the knee, and it kicks back that far as well. It also kicks out like that. Now at the knee, we do have, like, because of the transformation, we kind of have like a double jointed knee. So I tend to have it standing like this, but there is forward on there too. You could kind of sink it in if you want and I don't know, maybe make him a little shorter. It does kind of keep the silhouette looking a little better, in my opinion. Let's get that on camera. But now, like, I don't know, now it looks like a little too forward. So I don't mind having a little bit of gappage there. But yeah, that's a weird leg joint. And I'm glad it's not a slider, but I feel like it could have been a click with like a tab or something to maybe keep that in place better. There is, of course, rotation at the thigh. That is a mushroom peg. Nothing else coming down the leg until you get to the foot, which will move forward. It will move back, just right up until here because of the transformation. And then there is ankle tilt as well. So you do have some nice ankle tilt on this figure. So there we go. This is Ferak. And, you know, honestly, I'm not going to sit here and say that he's an essential character for your display. If you like buying comic-based figures, then maybe he's one for you. As far as I know, he was never in the G1 cartoon show. He was just a comic character. And was it BotCon who made one that was a repaint of Cyclonus, which seems to be the way we've been going ever since. I remember seeing him in, I think it was Last Stand of the Records in IDW, which I thought was neat. You know, it was a cameo appearance. He was barely in it, but he's there. And I just thought it would be fun to own this figure. I'm not going all in on the Star Raiders line. I definitely am watching my purchases, but here we go. That is more or less my thoughts on this Star Raider Ferak figure. Let me know what you think of this figure. And until next time, I've been Dan. You've been pretty awesome. I'll see you around.
Well, there we go. What did you think of this video? Sound off in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Remember, we are making a push to get to 700 subscribers here on the channel. If we do that before the HasLab Giant Man arrives, I will be giving away the old Toy Biz Giant Man Build-A-Figure that you've seen on my shelf and things like that. So hit subscribe, leave a comment, hit like if you're so inclined, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.